Pro photographer, expectations versus reality in this video. Maybe you know those memes on the internet where there's written what I thought, how my life as a photographer will be, what my people or my friends think I'm doing, what my mother thinks I'm doing, and what I'm doing in reality. And about those expectations versus the reality as a pro photographer, I want to talk in this video. So enjoy! Expectation number one is you make some nice money, dineros, with your images. And I can tell you, it's not true. No, just kidding. Actually, you can make a lot of money with photography still today. I will talk about that later in the video. But in the first years, you won't make much money as a photographer. And especially if you just start out. You will spend a lot of money. And there's actually a joke. We made a joke video. And I remember the joke is how to make a small fortune with photography. Invest the big fortune first. And that's what it is actually. But like in every job you learn, in every art you learn, you have to develop your skills, you have to get better, more well known, and more people need to know you as a photographer, know your work and like your work, and then are willing to pay you actually as a photographer. But let's say in the first, you can take it as a rule of thumb, let's say in the first 3 years you won't make much money as a photographer, as a pro photographer. So watch out for those first 3 years. But after that period, after you struggled a lot, after you made your tough times, then actually it can make a lot of fun and can be a pretty cool job, and a job that other people say, oh man, you have such a cool job, and you just tell them, yeah, actually now it's not that bad. I have bad days as well, and sometimes clients that are a bit annoying, but still I like it that I just be my own boss and just can make a living with what I like. And that is great, but you won't, as mentioned, make a lot of money in the first years. And with that in mind, it can make a lot of fun. Expectation number two. I will photograph every day when I will be a pro. That's not true actually, because most of the days you will just sit on your computer, just like in the meme that I talked about. It's actually reality, it's not a joke, sadly. Most of the times you will just sit on your computer and do emails, do back office stuff like invoices, or you will just do your website, or you will just talk to clients, or you will just telephone, or you'll just maybe develop new skills, practice or whatever, but do the real photography thing is maybe 1/4 of your full time. So 1/4, that's the right English word. So 1/4 of your time is only maybe photography. And even for me, it's less than 1/4, I would say, that I actually photograph. For me, my job is most of the times I photograph for a very intense period, let's say 1 or 2 weeks every day. So for campaigns or jobs or whatever. And then for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't photograph anything. I just sit on my computer and have to prepare for the next job, have to prepare for new videos, have to maybe edit some old videos, have to talk to my team, have to talk to clients, have to talk to agencies, have to meet people, have to fly, have to sit on the airport, have to sit on the plane, have to take a shit on the toilet, have to just do important stuff, you know what I mean? And yeah, photography is actually only a small part in that whole photography business, when you see it as a business. But when you photograph, then it's always amazing and what I like a lot. But you can't, of course, take me as a role model, because I don't run a photography business like most of people would say that's a photography business. So clients don't knock on my door and say, hey Ben, can you take some nice images of me? That's not what I do. So I do most of the times jobs for other companies in videography, in photography, in travel stuff and so on. And as well, my whole own business with workshops, video courses, books, gadgets for cameras like filters, tripods and so on. So you cannot really compare my job as a photographer with another job with a photographer. But from the talk I have with other colleagues of me and other pro photographers, I can definitely say you that it's just the expectation, not reality, that you photograph a lot. And expectation number 3, which is quite negative, there are so many photographers out there. It's not even place for me. Somebody thinks about me. And with that mindset, it might be the truth for you. Because there's a saying that the people that believe they can do it and don't believe they can do it, they both are right. So keep that in mind. And what I want to say with that is, just because there are millions of photographers out there and good photographers out there, doesn't mean that there's no space for you and that you can't be successful in photography and in the photography business as a pro photographer, just because there are millions of other photographers. And just because photography gets easier and easier every day and a lot of smartphones pop out and so on, does not mean that you won't have a job in the future. When you have something great to offer, people will always love to make business with you. And I compared with a restaurant. Just because there are millions of restaurants around in your area, in your neighborhood maybe, just when I drive home here from my office back home, there are maybe 30 or more restaurants on the way, does not mean that you don't have the chance to build up a new restaurant that is more successful, that has better food, and the people will like to go to that restaurant more than to the other restaurants around. And just because people can go in the supermarket and make their own spaghetti bolognese at home, does not mean that they won't come to your restaurant and eat your spaghetti bolognese. And there are even people that are too lazy to cook. They will go just to the grocery store and just buy ravioli. You know ravioli in a tin? It's like spaghetti or some other stuff in a tin with tomato sauce. They would just make it in the microwave and just eat it. But still, there will be people that come to your restaurant and will be so happy to have a good pizza or to have a good spaghetti bolognese, originale, italiano, and so on and so on. And when you just take that comparison with the restaurant over to the photography business, there will be always room for you if you're willing to do your job, to give more effort and give more work and more passion and more everything than everybody else in your job and in your photography business, and have a value that people like to pay, that like to work with you, then you will always be successful and always will have a job. But of course, this is just my opinion, what I experienced in the last 11 years that I'm now photographing. Write me your experiences in the comments below, and maybe your add-ons, or maybe you want to discuss something I just said in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about photography, a quick commercial, check out learnfromben.com. This is my website, and there you find video courses about image editing, about photography, especially landscape photography, about filmmaking, about editing, and so on. Learnfromben.com. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's free. Over 100 videos already about photography on this channel. If you have another topic that I should talk about in another video, maybe about business or photography or something, then just write it down there. And I see you in the next video. Bye bye.